And showtime, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the latest episode of the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. A look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I'm executive editor of the ChannelPro Network and one of your co-hosts on this program. And this week I am joined in person by my co-host Erick Simpson, who is a business transformation consultant for MSPs and other IT providers. Erick, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Rich. The rain stopped. It's sunny outside, and we're coming off the tail end of another travel event.
Indeed. We are broadcasting from the Hyatt Regency in Orange County. I was here this week to attend the first ASCII group event of 2019. Very interesting and successful show, and you were good enough to come by so that we could actually do this show together for a change.
Yeah, it always gives the extra punch, when we're in camera together.
Absolutely. Well, let's dive into the news. Our big story this week concerns Continuum, and they have an interesting new offering now. Folks who've been following Continuum, a big managed service software and service outsourced service provider, they have been in the midst of a strategic push into the security market for a while now, and they have a fairly complete managed security portfolio out there in the market for coming up on 9 months, something like that at this point. What they have encountered, though, as they talk to their MSP partners, is that the biggest hurdle those MSPs face is getting their SMB end users to understand why they need security and why they should be willing to make investments in security. And so this week, Continuum rolled out a new offering, a new addition to the managed security portfolio called Empower, which is really a sales tool for MSPs. It's an assessment tool. It includes a dark web monitoring component, as well as a sort of peer reporting tool that allows you to show an SMB not only how their environment is or isn't secure, but how the environment stacks up against similar companies in the same industry. But the idea is you will have some hard evidence that you can bring to an SMB to show them where they are potentially vulnerable to attack. And then hopefully once they see that, and especially the dark web information, which we know from things we've seen with other companies, including ID Agent, is a very effective sales stimulator. Hopefully when you're able to present some evidence to the SMBs, that's really going to give them that motivation that they maybe lack to go ahead and spend a little money on security.
Boy, the gold rush towards security continues, Rich, and it's everyone's trying to keep up with everyone else. I've been doing a lot of training and working with a lot of partners in the last 12 or 18 months or so, really teaching them how to leverage these types of tools to lead gen. I mean, what better way to create an appointment when you can call up a potential prospect and say, hey, during the course of our prospecting activities, one of our tactics is to run local organizations' domains through a dark web scanner, and guess what? We happen to find some of your critical, sensitive information for sale on the dark web. I'd like to come by and talk to you about what that means for you and how we can help you address that. I mean, it's a great prospecting tool. And then, offering ongoing scans like that on a recurring type of basis could be the start of a managed security services bundle of services, in addition to other valuable services. And the nice thing about this, Rich, is when you're coming to the client with that empirical data that cannot be argued, that allows you to set appointments when there's an incumbent MSP in the mix, or an incumbent outsourced IT provider, or an internal IT resource, because the clients, they're very, very in tune with security being the number one concern of business owners today. So you can walk right in and set those appointments, in the midst of other providers being in there, and that gets your foot right in the door.
Yeah, there are still a lot of business owners out there who believe in the concept of security by obscurity. My business is too small, basically, to be targeted. When you can show them that you've not only been targeted, but some of your data has been stolen and it's for sale out there, it's very compelling evidence that you really do need better security. And you made an important point, too. I refer to this as a sales tool, which is primarily what it's designed to be, and it's priced I don't know the specific rates, but it's priced low enough basically to encourage adoption. This is not a huge revenue opportunity for Continuum, but it can be, in addition to a sales tool, a revenue opportunity for an MSP. Once you have landed that business with the customer, like you were saying, you can deliver continued assessments, continued dark web monitoring on an ongoing basis, and turn that into a revenue stream on top of the other managed security products that Continuum offers.
Right, and it's not hard to have a client understand that concept. I mean, we've been getting bombarded with LifeLock commercials for the last, how many years. So they understand that ongoing monitoring is, a valuable asset to have, especially for their business.
Well, you know what else is a valuable asset to have, Eric? That's the next generation of potential IT leaders and business leaders. And I think that has a lot to do with your tip of the week.
And it does, Rich. Boy, that's very, very canny of you to pick up on that. So this week's tip of the week is all about, yes, helping mentor and elevate and coach the next generation of IT leaders. I was lucky enough to be part of a Microsoft partnered initiative this week with some local outreach organizations that put together a program for young women in high school, and it was all about teaching them to become entrepreneurs. And they took them through, I mean, it was a boot camp of developing an idea for a business or a product, and understanding all of the logistics of creating a business plan and a pricing model, a distribution model, a marketing model. And last night, what the culmination was, I sat on a panel of a couple of other judges, and we did kind of a little Shark Tank thing, and we judged everyone on their presentation, while we had helped them, kind of perfect it earlier in the day. And it was really, really, I think, empowering. And it really gave me a sense of, a unique and different kind of a purpose of what we're capable of as business leaders, and these folks need guidance, and they're looking for leaders to help them build the next generation. So, my twist on that take is, why don't we think about doing that for the next generation of IT leaders, bringing, young people into our businesses, and then teach them the components of building an IT practice, and create internship programs and mentorship programs. And hey, what a great way to identify, your next hires for your, tier one type of services and things like that. I work with a lot of partners, Rich, that tell me it's really hard to hire good talent nowadays, and they're having to go back to these types of resources, go to the colleges and things like that, and put job postings. And boy, I'm thinking of, wow, why don't we even, get in earlier than that and create real strategic leaders that can add that much more value to our own organizations. And then if they decide to go off and live their dreams, then we've done our job in creating that next generation of entrepreneurs.
Yeah. We are all aware, and ChannelPro readers are painfully aware of the 0% unemployment essentially in the IT world right now. Organizations like CompTIA are making enormous investments of time and money in trying to cultivate more technicians and more, and a person supporting opportunity for MSP or VAR to participate in that initiative as well, that effort as well, to cultivate the next generation of leaders. And it's a good thing potentially for your business if you do find a future employee or future leader for your organization. And even if you don't, you've done something good for the industry and something good for yourself.
And that'll all come back to you, because you're going to build that great goodwill for the community, and then you'll get other folks to want to participate, and this could really become a strong movement, and you could be a part of it, or the tip of the spear, and gain that that recognition and the branding of someone that really wants to invest back into the community, which I think trumps any other kind of marketing.
Well, we have time for just one more story this week, and that tip of the week was a great idea, Eric. Here's another great idea from the annals of genius. Actually, this is a change.org petition that recently went up and has kind of gone viral. We've got ourselves a pretty substantial national debt here in the United States of America. Where are we going to get the money to pay that off? Well, here's a thought. Maybe why don't we sell Montana to the Canadians for $1 trillion, and that's cash that we can use to pay off the national debt. Brilliant idea. There's a petition that you can sign right now if you agree this is a great idea. 7,000 people have signed it already. Sorry if anyone watching in Montana. I mean, it's been nice knowing. And Canada, I hear, is a really, really great place. No response, as far as I'm aware, from the Canadian government yet as to whether or not they've got the $1 trillion or want to buy Montana. But I think it's an excellent investment for them.
Well, Montanans, Canadians, there's probably some, other benefits there. Universal health care, can go on and on.
That $1 trillion is negotiable. There's a deal to be made, folks. So we'll look into this, and we will look forward to joining you next week for another episode of the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. If you like the show, you'd like to take a look at some past episodes, keep up to date with the future ones, what you want to do is subscribe to the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube, and we will keep you informed about all of that. You want to read more about Continuum and their managed security suite, keep up to date with other developments in the industry, get some great business growth ideas. ChannelProNetwork.com should be your destination. We've got great new content going up there every day. To learn more about Erick and Erick's consulting business and the great things that he does for his clients, you want to go to ericksimpson.com. That's ERICK Simpson.com. That is all the time we've got this week on the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you again next week. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Erick and I are enjoying the rest of your week already.